As Democrats prepare to go to war over retaking Congress, it may be rather difficult, because the Democratic National Committee is nearly broke. In FEC filings closing out 2017, the party appears to be starting the new year $6.1 million in debt with just $6.5 million in the bank. That leaves the DNC with just $400,000. Meanwhile, the Republican National Committee has amassed quite a fortune. Their filings show zero debt with nearly $40 million in the bank. Randy Bryce made waves earlier this year when he announced he would run against House Speaker Paul Ryan in the 2018 midterm elections. Bryce, a Democrat, is a U.S. Army veteran, cancer survivor and union iron worker. Rep. Scott Taylor, RVA, a former Navy SEAL, Taylor has represented Virginia's 2nd District since he was elected in 2016. He has branded himself as a Republican lawmaker who is unafraid to speak out against President Trump and members of his own party, recently calling out Roy Moore for allegations of sexual misconduct. Representative Seth Moulton, DMA, 39-year-old Seth Moulton has increasingly emerged as a prominent House member and one to watch within the Democratic Party. He served 4 tours of duty in Iraq and notably serves as the. Recently, he has advocated for a new generation of Democratic leadership. Rep. Chris Collins, RNY. Collins was elected to represent New York's 27th District on Capitol Hill in 2012, and has since positioned himself as a vocal right-wing defender within the Republican Party. He also came out as one of President Trump's most vocal supporters leading up to and after the 2016 election. Rep. Raja Krishnamurthy, D.L. Krishnamurthy was elected in 2016, making him one of the more freshman lawmakers on Capitol Hill. Still, the former lawyer with a past evading the Obama administration has played an integral role this year in congressional investigations into the Trump campaign's potential ties to Russia. As a member of the House Committee on Oversight and Government Reform, he has taken many opportunities to speak critically of the clearance aides like Jared Kushner have, and has firmly positioned himself as a staunch opponent of GOP efforts to repeal and replace Obamacare. Senator Lisa Murkowski, RAK, is one of 21 women currently serving in the U.S. Senate. Murkowski has positioned herself as a more moderate leader within the Republican Party. Murkowski refused to toe the party line on an attempted Obamacare repeal earlier this year, and has since raised skepticism over specific elements of the GOP tax bill and Republican Senate candidate Roy Moore. Representative Charlie Crist, D. Florida. Crist is one of the more interesting players currently positioned in the political landscape. Once a Republican, Crist served as both Attorney General and Governor of Florida, but then switched to a member of the Independent, and eventually Democratic Party. In his current House role representing Florida's 13th congressional district, Crist has emerged as a Democrat unafraid to take a middle-ground approach in his policy stances. Sen. Tom Cotton, RR, as the youngest U.S. Senator, Cotton's political future currently looks very bright. As one of the few Capitol Hill lawmakers that has yet to have a public feud, on Twitter or otherwise, with President Trump, Cotton was recently on the short list to replace Mike Pompeo as CIA director if Pompeo replaced Rex Tillerson as Secretary of State. Senator Catherine Cortez Masto, DNV. Catherine Cortez Masto is the first Latina ever elected to the U.S. Senate. Governor-elect Ralph Northam, DVA. Northam was elected governor of Virginia in the series of anti-Trump Election Day victories Democrats celebrated in November 2017. Northam's victory over Ed Gillespie signaled a potential shift in the oft-fraught over Virginia battleground state, and Northam's gubernatorial tenure will be one to eye in the context of midterms and the 2020 presidential election. Kirsten Gillibrand, DNY. Many who watch politics closely have noted Gillibrand as one to watch since she was appointed to Hillary Clinton's former Senate seat in 2009, and then elected in 2012. Early in her Senate career, Gillibrand used her position as a member of the Committee on Armed Services to chalk up a major legislative win by championing the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Gillibrand has also recently spoken out against sexual harassment allegations stemming from both Democratic and Republican offices, calling on both Sen. Al Franken and President Trump to resign. Even more impressive, the RNC raised a record $132 million in 2017, the most ever in a non-election year. Democrats raised about half that, $66 million, but they say it was more money raised than in previous years, and noted the difficulties newcomer Chairman Tom Perez has had rebuilding the committee. The lag in fundraising comes despite historic low approval ratings for President Trump. RNC Chairwoman Ronna McDaniel told the Washington Examiner, "Our strong fundraising numbers reflect voters' optimism and continued support as President Trump fulfills His promises to the American people, perhaps a bit of good news for Democrats. According to NBC, nearly 50 non-incumbent Democrats running for Congress have outraised their Republican opponents ahead of the midterm elections. More from AOL.com. Rep. Maxine Waters thinks Trump TV appearances warrant a parental advisory report. Trump breaks with tradition, opts out of pre-Super Bowl interview. Twitter ignites